Good afternoon. Welcome to the first day in the month of March 2025. This is TV Sapienta News Hour. I am Oluchi Ojo-Bamidele. Starting with the news headlines. Anambra State government has revealed plans to commence the arrest and prosecution of fake pastors and prophets in the state who facilitate crime and criminality through their practice. Ukraine's European allies will gather in London on Sunday, rallied behind President Vladimir Zelensky after Donald Trump accused him of not being ready for peace with Russia. In the men's singles final match at the 2025 International Table Tennis Federation African Cup, Egypt's Omar Assa overcame Nigeria's Quadri Aruna 4-3 in a battle of the superstars of African table tennis to win the title in Tunisia. The details of the news. The Anambra State House of Assembly has passed a resolution urging the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control (NAFDAC) to fasten its inspection and reopen the Owogu market following a motion of urgent public importance moved during a recent plenary session by Mr. Tony Moobike of Agwata Constituency 2. The lawmakers also called on market leaders to establish strict monitoring structures to identify and report illicit activities within the market. Moobike expressed distress over the plight of innocent traders and apprentices suffering due to the closure of the market, emphasizing the potential risk of youth being lured into criminal activities if the closure persists. Speaker of the House, Mr. Somto Chukwudeze, commended Chief Moobike for his motion and emphasized the Assembly's commitment to protecting the interests of their constituents. He called on NAFDAC to expedite the inspection process and consider alternative approaches to addressing the issues of illicit drugs in the market, ensuring fairness to law-abiding traders. The closure of the Owogu market in Onitsha, Anambra State has sparked concerns for the livelihood of over 10,000 traders, apprentices and their families, prompting the Anambra State House of Assembly to take action. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on Friday signed into law the 54.99 trillion naira 2025 appropriation bill in a small ceremony at the State House, Abuja. President Tinubu praised the collective work of his administration and Nigerians, which he said is yielding results despite a rough start when he assumed office in 2023. Speaking on his 21 months in office so far, the president said there are no dust in our eyes or tears on our cheeks, noting that his government worked closely with our brothers and sisters, collaborative Nigerians after the initial turbulence as the takeoff was very cloudy and uncertain. He expressed gratitude to both chambers of the National Assembly for their cooperation in ensuring a workable budget. Tinubu signed the budget in the presence of principal officers of the National Assembly, including Senate President Godswill Akpabio and Speaker of the House of Reps, Tajuddin Abbas. In Delta State, students of the College of Nursing Sciences at Sabah have been robbed by armed men who carted away their belongings. It was gathered that the hostel located outside the school premises and mostly occupied by female students were attacked on Thursday night by the gunmen around 8 p.m. According to one of the victims, the men threatened to shoot us, ransacked their rooms in search of phones and money, while some of them were hit with a gun and they even slapped them. When contacted, the Police Public Relations Officer of the Delta State Command, Bright Edafe, who confirmed the incident, said efforts are ongoing to arrest the perpetrators. The Economic, Financial and Crimes Commission (EFCC) has filed 16 count charges against a former governor of Abia State, Theodore Oji, and his son Chinedum for allegedly misappropriating the sum of 47 billion naira. Oji was arraigned with his son and a former commissioner of finance for Abia State, Dr. Philip Nto, a government contractor, Obioma King, and a former director of finance for Abia State, Romas Mmado, before the Abia State High Court on Friday. The EFCC alleged that Oji and other accused persons misappropriated 22.5 billion naira allocated for security votes from 2011 to 2015 and the stealing of 13 billion naira from a loan facility granted by the defunct Diamond Bank. According to the commission, the accused persons illegally converted 12 billion naira from the Paris Club refund, among others. However, the defendants pleaded not guilty to the charges. The defense team, Bode Olanipeku and Isaac Anya, among others, filed bail applications for the defendants. The EFCC's lead prosecution counsel, however, did not object to the bail application. After a brief stand-down, the Chief Judge of Abia State, Justice Lillian Abai, granted bail to the defendants and adjourned the case till June 18 and 19, 2025 for trial. Let's take a short break. When we get back, the news will make a return. And Godswill Akpabio, Unoma Akpabio has filed separate lawsuits against Senator Natasha Akpotudwaran at the Federal Capital Territory High Court, Abuja, over alleged defamation and violation of fundamental human rights. The legal action follows recent claims by Akpotudwaran, who represents Kogi Central, that her troubles in the Senate started following her refusal to have a sexual relationship with the Senate president. In the first suit on fundamental rights violation, Mrs. Akpabio accused the Senate of making false and scandalous statements that caused emotional trauma for her and her children, leaving them in fear for their lives, pleading with the court to declare the statements a violation of her right to dignity under the Constitution and the African Charter on Human and People's Rights. She is also seeking 250 billion naira in compensation and a perpetual injunction to stop Akpotudwaran from making further damaging claims. The court has yet to fix a date for the hearing of both suits. Meanwhile, Akpotudwaran filed a 100 billion naira lawsuit against Akpabio and his senior legislative aide, Mfon Patrick, for defamation. Her lawyer, Victor Giwa, said the alleged defamatory statement was published on Patrick's Facebook page with the title "Is Local Content Committee of the Senate Natasha's Birthright?" Describing the statement as provocative and damaging, Giwa said it had lowered his client's reputation among her colleagues and the public. The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has blacklisted an Indian firm, Avio Pharmaceuticals PVT Limited, over alleged production and importation of dangerous opioid combinations into West Africa, including Nigeria. In a statement signed by its Director General, Professor Mojishola Adeye, on Friday, NAFDAC accused the Indian company of producing and distributing Tafrodol and Royal 225 drugs containing a harmful mix of tapentadol and opioid, Carisprodol, and a banned muscle relaxant. According to the statement, these substances pose severe health risk, including respiratory failure, seizures, overdose, and death. The agency noted that an investigation conducted by the British Broadcasting Corporation exposed how packets of these drugs, branded with Avio Pharmaceuticals logo, have been found on the streets of Nigeria, Ghana, and Cote d'Ivoire. It further stated that evidence is confirmed that Avio Pharmaceuticals is also involved in the legal exportation of high-dose tramadol above 100 mg, a strength not registered or approved by NAFDAC. The agency, however, reaffirmed its commitment to protecting public health by enforcing international best practices in pharmaceutical regulation, including stringent product registration, good manufacturing practice inspections, post-marketing surveillance, and pre-shipment inspections for high-risk imports. In Anambra State, the government has revealed plans to commence the arrest and prosecution of fake pastors and prophets in the state who facilitate crime and criminality through their practice. The Commissioner for Information, Dr. Lome, who disclosed this during an interview, said the state government is now out to sanitize religion in the state and flush out fake practitioners both in Christian and traditional worships. According to him, the sanitization will reposition the society and restore the moral values that have been relegated to the background by present generation. The commissioner pointed out that practices such as selling of healing water and oils, fake prophecies and miracles, among other dubious operations of church leaders that propel crime or get rich quick, will be focus of the government. He assured that the new Anambra State Homeland Security Law will not spare any criminal or crime enabler, no matter the guise under which it is carried out. The Economic Committee of West African State Court of Justice has dismissed a case filed against the federal government of Nigeria on the assassination of late Mrs. Kudirat Abiola, the wife of the winner of June 12, 1993 presidential election, MKO Abiola. The suit was filed by the three members of the Abiola's family, Khalifa Abiola, Moriam Abiola, and Hadi Abiola, who alleged Kudirat's rights violations with her assassination in 1996 while advocating her husband's release from detention. According to the applicants, the Nigerian government violated Kudirat's fundamental human rights by failing to hold her killers accountable, despite a commission of inquiry identifying a key suspect, Sergeant Barnabas Jebila. In his ruling delivered on Friday, the judge rapporteur Justice Edward Amwakwa Ashante stated that the applicants lacked the legal capacity to sue as they failed to establish a direct relationship with Kudirat or present any legal mandate to act on behalf of her estate. However, the court clarified that its role does not involve acting as an appellate body over national court rulings. Let's go on a break. Thank you for being there with us. Now on the rest of the news. Senegal is set to summon former President Macky Sall to court after the country's audit office unveiled irregularities in the Treasury's bookkeeping on his watch, a government spokesman said. Sall is accused of having presided over a catastrophic mismanagement of public purse after an independent report invalidated official figures under his stewardship, revising both debt and the public deficit sharply upwards. Sall, who has lived in Morocco since leaving office last year, has rejected the row over the report as political. Government spokesman Mustafa Sarre said Sall, who ruled Senegal between 2012 and 2024, could even be considered as the leader of a gang that committed criminal acts, insisting he must face justice. Bassirou Faye, who was elected president last March, has pledged a clean break from the Sall era. Several former officials also have been charged and imprisoned in recent months, including a lawmaker close to Sall on fraud and money laundering charges on Thursday. Ukraine's European allies will gather in London on Sunday, rallied behind President Volodymyr Zelensky after Donald Trump accused him of not being ready for peace with Russia, stormed by Friday's altercation in the Oval Office, which saw Zelensky depart the White House without signing an expected mineral deal. Most European leaders rushed to his defense. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, who visited the White House, said he has spoken to both Trump and Zelensky following the clash and vowed unwavering support for Kyiv. Representatives from more than a dozen European countries will convene in London for a summit tomorrow, which according to Downing Street, will focus on shoring up support for securing a just and enduring peace in Ukraine. The gathering also addressed the need for Europe to increase defense cooperation amid fears over whether the United States will continue to support NATO. Trump has spoken dismissively of the transatlantic alliance and stunned many in Europe when he reached out to Russian President Vladimir Putin to seek a deal on Ukraine. Earlier during the clash in front of U.S. and international media, Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance shouted at Zelensky, accusing him of not being thankful and refusing to accept their proposed truce terms. And now to the world of sports in the men's singles final match at the 2025 International Table Tennis Federation African Cup. Egypt's Omar Assar overcame Nigerian's Quadri Aruna 4-3 in a battle of the superstars of African table tennis to win the title in Tunis, Tunisia. Assar dug deep to overcome defending champion Aruna in a close 4-3 match. Assar described his win as the most challenging of his career, adding that he was so exhausted from all the matches he played in Tunis. The competition also served as qualifiers for the 2025 ITTF World Cup. Also, the leadership of the National Sports Commission, under Chairman Shehu Diko and Director General Bukola Olopade, has commended Aruna Quadri and Fatima Bello for securing their places at the 2025 International Table Tennis Federation World Cup. Both athletes sealed their World Cup berths by advancing to the semi-finals of the ITTF African Cup in Tunis. Chairman Diko highlighted the Commission's commitment to fostering excellence across all sports. The Nigerian Under-19 women's cricket team secured an automatic qualification for the Under-19 Cricket World Cup, marking a historic win against traditional cricket powerhouses. Also in badminton, Nigeria finished third at the African Senior Badminton Championship, while in basketball, the Tigers staged a remarkable comeback in the Afro-Basket qualifiers. To wrap it up on the news, a reminder of our headlines. The Anambra State government has revealed plans to commence the arrest and prosecution of fake pastors and prophets in the state who facilitate crime and criminality through their practice. Ukraine's European allies will gather in London on Sunday, rallied behind President Zelensky after Donald Trump accused him of not being ready for peace talk with Russia. In the men's singles final match of the 2025 International Table Tennis Federation African Cup, Egypt's Omar Assa overcame Nigeria's Quadri Aruna 4-3 in a battle of the superstars of African table tennis to win the title in Tunisia. And that was the TV Sapientia News at 1. On behalf of the technical and editorial crew, I am Oluchi Ojo-Bamidele. Thanks for choosing TV Sapientia.